Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Have you ever wondered why, despite having everything around you, your heart still feels lost? Have you ever prayed for help but felt unsure where guidance would come from? What if the answer has been in your daily prayers all along? Hidden within Surah Al-Fatihah is a powerful secret that can transform the way you seek Allah's help and guidance. Let us reflect on this remarkable chapter and discover what Allah teaches us about finding our way back to Him. There are moments in life when a person feels completely lost. The road ahead seems unclear. The heart carries questions that no one around can answer. The mind becomes crowded with worries about the future and regrets about the past. At such times, many people search everywhere for direction. They seek advice from friends. They listen to experts. They read books and watch countless videos hoping to find clarity. Yet despite all of that effort, the heart often remains unsettled, because true guidance is not something that comes from people alone. True guidance comes from Allah, and this is one of the greatest lessons hidden within Surah Al-Fatihah. Surah Al-Fatihah is not simply the opening chapter of the Quran. It is a conversation between the servant and the Creator. It is a chapter that every Muslim recites again and again every day. Many people know its words by heart, but few are stopped to reflect on the incredible message it contains. Within this short surah, Allah teaches us who He is, who we are, and where we must turn when we need help and guidance. Every human being needs guidance. It does not matter how intelligent a person is. It does not matter how educated or experienced they may be. There will always be moments when they cannot see what lies ahead. There will always be situations where their knowledge reaches its limit. Human beings are created with weaknesses. We do not know the future. We do not know what is hidden. We cannot control every outcome. That is why Allah did not leave us alone. He opened the door for us, and that door begins with Surah Al-Fatihah. The surah starts by teaching us to praise Allah. All praise belongs to Allah, the Lord of all worlds. This opening is powerful because before asking for anything, we are reminded of who Allah is. He is not distant. He is not unaware of our struggles. He is the Lord of every world and every creation. He knows every secret hidden in the heart. He knows every tear that falls when no one is watching. He knows every fear that keeps a person awake at night. But when a believer truly understands this reality, a sense of comfort begins to enter the heart. The problems may still exist, but the person realizes that the one who controls every solution is Allah. The one who manages every affair is Allah. The one who opens doors that seem impossible to open is Allah. Suddenly the burden feels lighter because it is no longer carried alone. Allah then introduces Himself as Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, the entirely merciful and the especially merciful. This is not a small detail. It is a reminder that our relationship with Allah is built upon His mercy. Many people become trapped by despair because they focus only on their mistakes. They believe they have failed too many times. They think they are too far from Allah. They feel unworthy of asking for help. Yet Allah reminds us every day that His mercy comes before everything else. Imagine a person who has made many mistakes. They look back at their life and see missed opportunities, wrong choices, and moments of weakness. Shaitan whispers that there is no point returning to Allah. Shaitan wants people to lose hope. But Surah Al-Fatihah destroys that hopelessness. Allah introduces Himself through mercy so that every servant understands that no matter how far they have wandered, the door of return remains open. Then Allah reminds us that He is the master of the day of judgment. This verse creates balance. Mercy fills the heart with hope, while accountability fills the heart with responsibility. A believer lives between these two realities. We hope in Allah's mercy, and we fear standing before Him with sins that were never repented from. This balance protects a person from arrogance and from despair. Many people become distracted by the temporary attractions of this world. They become so focused on success, wealth, status, and recognition that they forget their ultimate destination. Surah Al-Fatihah gently brings the heart back to reality. One day every person will stand before Allah. On that day, wealth will not speak, fame will not speak, social status will not speak. Only faith, sincerity, and righteous deeds will matter. After establishing these foundations, the surah reaches one of the most powerful declarations in the entire Quran. You alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help. This verse contains the secret that many people spend their entire lives searching for. Notice the order. First comes worship, then comes seeking help. This teaches us that the strongest connection to Allah is built through sincere devotion. When a person turns to Allah in prayer, remembers Him throughout the day, obeys Him sincerely, and seeks His pleasure above all else, they develop a relationship with their Creator that transforms their life. Seeking help from Allah does not mean abandoning effort. It means understanding where true power comes from. A person may work hard for success, but they know success comes from Allah. A person may seek treatment treatment for illness, but they know healing comes from Allah. A person may pursue opportunities, but they know every opportunity is ultimately opened by Allah. This understanding changes everything. It frees the believer from dependence upon people. It removes the fear of losing what others can provide. It breaks the chains of anxiety that come from believing everything depends upon human effort alone. The believer works hard, but their heart remains attached to Allah. Think about the challenges people face today. Some are struggling financially. Others are facing family difficulties. Some are battling loneliness, while others are carrying emotional wounds that no one else can see. There are people who feel trapped by circumstances and cannot imagine a way forward. Surah Al-Fatihah teaches that there is always a path to Allah. When a servant sincerely says, "You alone we ask for help," they are acknowledging a profound truth. No matter how difficult the situation appears, Allah is greater. No matter how complicated the problem seems, Allah is capable of resolving it. No matter how dark the night becomes, Allah can bring the light of dawn. One of the greatest mistakes people make is waiting until life becomes difficult before turning to Allah. They remember Allah only during crises. Yet, Surah Al-Fatihah is recited in every prayer because Allah wants us to maintain a constant connection with Him. Guidance is not something we seek once and then no longer need. Guidance is needed every single day. A person may be guided today and misguided tomorrow if they become careless. A person may be strong today and weak tomorrow if they stop seeking Allah's help. This is why even the most righteous people constantly asked Allah for guidance. They understood that guidance is a gift that must be continually sought and protected. Perhaps there was a time in your life when you felt close to Allah. Your prayers felt meaningful. Your heart felt peaceful. Then gradually distractions entered your life. The connection weakened. The consistency disappeared. If that has happened, do not lose hope. The beauty of Islam is that every day offers a new beginning. Allah does not demand perfection from His servants. He asks for sincerity. He asks for effort. He asks for repentance when mistakes occur. The person who repeatedly returns to Allah is beloved to Him. Every sincere step taken toward Allah is noticed. Every prayer made with humility is heard. Every tear shed out of longing for Allah is valued. As believers, we often underestimate the power of turning to Allah with complete dependence. We make plans but forget to ask for guidance. We chase opportunities but forget to seek blessings. We pursue goals but neglect the one who controls every outcome. Surah Al-Fatihah reminds us that true success begins with Allah and ends with Allah. The world constantly encourages self-reliance to the point where people believe they need no one. Islam teaches something different. Islam teaches that the strongest people are those who recognize their need for Allah. Real strength is not pretending to have all the answers. Real strength is knowing where the answers are found. Every time you stand in prayer and recite Surah Al-Fatihah, you are being invited to renew your relationship with your Creator. You are being reminded that Allah's mercy surrounds you. You are being reminded that help is available. You are being reminded that guidance is within reach. The question is whether we truly reflect on these words or simply recite them without thought. The difference between the two can transform an entire life. And at the heart of this transformation lies a prayer that every believer repeats again and again, because it contains one of the greatest requests a human being can ever make. Guide us to the straight path. These words are among the most powerful words a believer can ever say. They are simple, yet they contain a request greater than wealth, greater than success, greater than status, and greater than anything this world can offer. Every day, Muslims around the world repeat this prayer many times. Some recite it quickly, while others pause and reflect upon its meaning. Yet if a person truly understands what they are asking for, their entire perspective on life begins to change. Notice that Allah teaches us to ask for guidance even though we are already Muslims. This is a remarkable lesson. If guidance was something achieved once and then no longer needed, there would be no reason to ask for it repeatedly. But Allah knows the nature of the human heart. The heart can become distracted. It can become weak. It can become influenced by desires, fears, doubts, and worldly pressures. Therefore, guidance is not a destination that is reached once. It is a journey that continues every single day. Every morning a person wakes up and faces choices. Some choices are obvious while others are subtle. Some decisions affect only a few moments while others shape entire years. The challenge is that we do not always recognize which path is best. What appears beneficial today may become harmful tomorrow. What seems difficult today may contain blessings beyond imagination. This is why human knowledge alone can never be enough. We need the guidance of the one who knows the seen and the unseen. When we ask Allah to guide us to the straight path, we are asking Him to direct our thoughts, our actions, our intentions, and our future. We are asking Him to protect us from mistakes that we cannot foresee. We are asking Him to lead us toward what pleases Him and away from what harms us. This prayer is an acknowledgement that without Allah, we are vulnerable to confusion and misguidance. Think about how often people search for direction. They seek advice from countless sources. They follow trends. They imitate public figures. They chase whatever appears attractive at the moment. Yet despite all of this, many still feel empty. Many still feel uncertain. Why is that? Because guidance is not found in popularity. It is not found in following the crowd. It is found in following the path that Allah has chosen. A straight path is not merely a set of rules. It is a way of life. It is the path that leads to inner peace because it aligns the servant with the purpose for which they were created. Every human being was created to know Allah, worship Allah, and draw closer to Him. Whenever a person moves away from that purpose, they begin to experience a sense of emptiness, no matter how successful they appear on the outside. There are people who possess wealth beyond imagination, yet they remain unhappy. There are people who achieve recognition and influence, yet they feel lost when they are alone. There are people who spend their lives chasing worldly achievements only to discover that material success cannot satisfy the deepest needs of the soul. The soul was created with a need that only connection with Allah can fulfill. This is why Surah Al-Fatihah is so extraordinary. It constantly redirects our attention back to what truly matters. It reminds us that success is not measured only by what we gain in this world. True success is reaching Allah with a sound heart. True success is living a life guided by faith, sincerity, and obedience. The straight path is described as the path of those whom Allah has blessed. This description carries immense wisdom. Instead of asking for a completely unknown path, we are asking to follow the path of those who successfully walked it before us. The prophets, the truthful, the righteous, and the sincere servants of Allah all traveled this road. Their lives demonstrate what guidance looks like in practice. Consider the life of Prophet Ibrahim. He lived in a society filled with false beliefs, yet he remained firm upon the truth. Consider Prophet Musa, who faced enormous challenges, yet trusted Allah through every difficulty. Consider Prophet Muhammad, who endured rejection, hardship, and opposition, yet remained patient and steadfast. Their stories teach us that guidance does not mean a life free from difficulties. Rather, guidance means having Allah with you through every difficulty. One of the misconceptions people sometimes have is that if they are guided, they will never face hardship. Yet the lives of the prophets prove otherwise. The most guided people often faced the greatest tests. What distinguished them was not the absence of trials, but the presence of unwavering trust in Allah. This lesson is especially important today. Many people become discouraged when they encounter challenges. They assume that difficulties are signs of failure, but often difficulties are opportunities for growth. They are moments in which faith becomes stronger. They are occasions through which Allah draws His servants closer to Him. Imagine a person who loses something valuable. Perhaps they lose a job. Perhaps a relationship ends. Perhaps a long cherished plan falls apart. At first they feel devastated. They cannot understand why it happened. Yet months or years later they realize that what seemed like a loss was actually protection. What seemed like a setback was actually guidance. Allah was leading them towards something better. This is why trust in Allah is inseparable from guidance. We cannot always understand Allah's wisdom immediately. Sometimes the picture becomes clear only after time has passed. Yet the believer continues moving forward with confidence because they know that Allah's knowledge is perfect while human understanding is limited. The final verses of Surah Al-Fatihah teach us to seek protection from the paths of those who earned anger and those who went astray. This is another profound lesson. Guidance is not only about knowing the right path, it is also about avoiding the wrong paths. History is filled with examples of people who possessed knowledge but failed to act upon it. It is also filled with people who acted without knowledge and became misguided. Islam teaches balance. Knowledge must be accompanied by sincere action, and action must be guided by authentic knowledge. In our time, distractions are everywhere. Messages compete for our attention every moment of the day. Social media trends change constantly. Opinions spread rapidly. Many voices claim to offer guidance, yet not every voice deserves to be followed. Surah Al-Fatihah reminds us to measure everything against the guidance of Allah. The believer who remains connected to the Quran develops clarity. The noise of the world becomes easier to navigate because the heart possesses a reliable compass. That compass is revelation. When uncertainty arises, the believer returns to Allah. When confusion appears, they seek answers through the guidance Allah has provided. Another beautiful lesson from Surah Al-Fatihah is that guidance is a gift. It is not something earned solely through intelligence or effort. Many intelligent people remain confused, while many simple believers possess remarkable clarity. Guidance is granted by Allah to those who sincerely seek it. This realization fills the heart with humility. Whenever we see someone struggling, we should not respond with arrogance. We should thank Allah for the guidance He has given us and ask Him to increase it. We should recognize that every blessing, including faith itself, comes from Him. Gratitude protects guidance while arrogance threatens it. A believer who reflects deeply upon Surah Al-Fatihah begins to see it differently. It is no longer just a chapter recited during prayer. It becomes a daily reminder of life's greatest realities. It reminds us of Allah's mercy. It reminds us of accountability. It reminds us of worship. It reminds us of dependence upon Allah. It reminds us of our need for guidance and our need to remain upon the straight path. Perhaps there are people listening today who feel uncertain about their future. Perhaps there are people carrying burdens that seem too heavy. Perhaps there are people searching for direction after experiencing disappointment, confusion, or loss. If that describes you, then remember the message of Surah Al-Fatihah. Allah is not unaware of your situation. He knows every detail of your struggle. He knows the questions that remain unspoken. He knows the fears hidden deep within your heart. More importantly, He is capable of guiding you through every challenge. Turn to Him sincerely. Speak to Him in your prayers. Ask Him for clarity. Ask Him for strength. Ask Him for steadfastness. Continue seeking His guidance even when answers do not appear immediately. The believer trusts that Allah responds in the best way and at the best time. Many of the greatest transformations begin with a simple, sincere prayer. A person raises their hands and asks Allah for guidance. That prayer may seem small in the moment, yet it can change the course of an entire life. Doors begin to open. Understanding increases. Priorities become clearer. The heart becomes calmer. What once seemed impossible becomes manageable because Allah is guiding every step. This is the secret hidden within Surah Al-Fatihah. It teaches us that true help and true guidance come from Allah alone. The world may offer temporary solutions, but lasting peace comes from the Creator. A lasting certainty comes from the one who knows all things. Lasting success comes from following the straight path He has revealed. Every prayer is an opportunity to renew this connection. Every recitation of Surah Al-Fatihah is an opportunity to remember who Allah is and who we are. It is an opportunity to place our trust in Him once again. It is an opportunity to ask for the greatest gift a servant can receive. So the next time you stand before Allah and recite these familiar words, do not rush through them. Reflect upon them. Feel their meaning. Let them enter your heart. Remember that you are speaking to the Lord of all worlds. Remember that His mercy is vast. Remember that His guidance is priceless. And remember that the path to peace begins with a sincere heart that says with complete conviction, You alone we worship and You alone we ask for help. Guide us to the straight path. Ameen.